Democrats. Today is Thursday, March 23rd, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Thursday. Okay, so there's tons and tons to talk about today. Usually I kind of do a quick in and out, but today I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Number one is elections have consequences. I know I talk about this a lot. I talk about the importance of, every time that there's a ballot with your name on it, that you should cast a vote. It shows up in so many different places when we don't show up and we don't participate. And a lot of times we get mad later when something happens and we think, how did that happen? A lot of times it happened because folks didn't vote or folks voted absentmindedly or not in the right way. So one of the first things I want to talk about is the fact that at our Capitol right now, in our legislature, particularly in our state house, it's the wild, wild west. It's absolutely the wild, wild west. I have a graphic I want to show of, so here's what we have, right? One of these is not like the others. The first three are men with red ties, and the last is a non-binary person. You would think that that's what I'm talking about, but I'm not. What I'm talking about is that the first three people are awaiting trial on criminal charges, right? Terry O'Donnell out of Catoosa is awaiting trial on 5 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. Right now, he's awaiting trial, has been credibly charged with 5 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. Ryan Martinez is currently awaiting trial on 1 felony. Right now. Not back in the history, not back in the way back time, but right now. And then Dean Davis was arrested this morning. His charges are pending, but I assume he will be awaiting criminal charges as well. And then we have Representative Marie Turner. Representative Turner has not been charged with the crime at all. Not charged with a crime, not awaiting trial, not waiting to see what's going to happen, hasn't been charged with the crime. But their colleagues in the House has removed them from being able to participate in committee meetings because what they said was because they obstructed justice. So the House leadership took Representative Turner's voice away from the committees that they have been assigned to, took their voice, censured them publicly, and tried to humiliate them. Meanwhile, at the time, 2 of his colleagues were awaiting trial on felonies. And then today, we have yet 1 more House representative being arrested. It feels like the wild, wild west. And if past his prologue, nothing legislatively will happen to Representative Davis. Nothing's going to happen to him. He will get to continue to participate in his committees. He'll get to continue to participate on the floor because he's a Republican. That's what those folks have in common. The 3 who have been charged with criminal charges are all Republican. They still get to participate fully. The folks who voted for them get that full participation. Meanwhile, Representative Turner hasn't been charged with a crime, except that they are a Democrat. And so they can't participate in committees. The challenge with Representative Turner is that they represent a lot of the things that Republicans in our state house are fighting against, are pretending like do not exist. Representative Turner is the first non-binary person to serve in a state legislature in the nation. Meanwhile, our state legislature is pretending like non-binary is not a gender identity, even though every day they serve with a non-binary person. Additionally, Representative Turner is openly Muslim. and African American. Representative Turner is a front to all of the things that our Republican-led legislature is legislating against. All of the things that they are saying scare children. Representative Turner represents a newly visible group of folks in Oklahoma. They represent a district, but they also represent openly Muslim folks who want to have a say in our legislature. They represent proud non-binary people who want to have a say in our legislature, and representation matters. When folks, LGBTQ folks, see Representative Turner having a say, it gives them representation. Because if you can see it, you can be it. When our Muslim community sees Representative Turner having a say, it gives them an opportunity to have representation. If you can see it, you can be it. And so more Muslim people may step up and run for office in Oklahoma. Or maybe they won't after they see how Representative Turner is being treated, and that would be a shame. Representation matters, and they know it. And that's why they're seeking to minimize the good that Representative Turner could do by minimizing their voice on their committees. That's just one thing. That's just one thing. Now I'm going to move on. I call it the Wild Wild West. Something happened today that makes me think that perhaps decorum is lost at our state house. Years ago, through a petition initiative and a ballot measure, Oklahomans voted to make cockfighting a felony. Meaning someone had the idea, went and got all the signatures, got it on a ballot, and by a majority, Oklahomans said, we don't want cockfighting here. Our legislature believes that they know better than the electorate. And so they have now made it where certain counties can decide if cockfighting is a felony or not. Still a crime, but is it a felony or is it a misdemeanor? Or does it just deserve a fine? Regardless of what the people voted for and said that they wanted. That's one issue that I have. And it's a pretty big issue. But secondly, the proponent of this bill, the author of this bill, the person who ushered it through, was at the Capitol passing out this button. I think he thinks he's pretty cute. But where is the decorum? And I'm using that word deliberately because when Representative Turner was censored, decorum was one of the reasons cited. They said Representative Turner did something unbecoming of the legislature. Is this button becoming of our legislature? Where's the decorum? Where's the pride? Yes, Martha, it is immature. I just would hope that the folks that we elect to represent us would behave as adults and not devolve into locker room behavior. That's the best way I can call it, is locker room behavior. And locker room behavior is not okay. Not okay. And it should not be okay in our state legislature. But apparently it is, because I haven't seen anything about a censure of Representative Humphreys for passing out that button. Good news is today was the last day to hear new bills, and Democrat bills are actually moving through the process. And so it is hopeful that more than 12 bills authored by Democrats will see the governor's desk this session, which would be an improvement. It's a lot, folks. It's a lot. We have folks deciding our laws, deciding our laws, who are awaiting trial on criminal charges. We have folks deciding our laws who are behaving in a juvenile manner. And that's because not enough Oklahomans show up to participate in our legislative process, our electoral process, show up to cast a ballot. In November, right, which is one of our biggest elections, in November, 50% of registered voters showed up. 50%. Which means, of course, that 50% decided just to sit it out. That's of registered voters. That's not of people who are over the age of 18 who are eligible to be registered voters. Those are just the people who bothered to register. Only 50% of those folks actually cast a ballot. And so that's how we end up with folks who are getting arrested for the same thing more than once, serving in our legislature. That's how we end up with someone who has been credibly charged with 5 felonies, serving in our legislature. That's how folks can gang up on one representative and strip them of their right to participate on their committees, minimizing the votes of Democrats in our state house. That's how it happens, is we don't show up. A lot of folks think it happens because we're not running enough candidates. Let me say this. I could run 101 candidates in the state house. But if we participate at the level that we participate, it won't make a difference. We have to show up. We have to register voters. We have to recruit folks. And then once we recruit them, we have to support them. And once they're in office, we have to let them know what we're thinking. And we have to support them because they're being picked on by their colleagues. The way that we change this juvenile behavior, the way that we change this targeting, discriminatory behavior, is that we all participate, we all have a say, and we all show up. That's what has to happen. We have to show up. And I see you, Mitch, saying that Dems better figure out how to get young people interested. Understand, Representative Turner is not quite 30. Representative Alonzo Sandoval, not 30. Representative Swope, just a little over 30. There are young people involved, and there are young people who care. But their participation is at the same level as most of Oklahoma, and that's not very much. We've got to show up, folks. It's not a matter of identifying what group isn't showing up. It's and resting on that. If we think that young people aren't involved, we all need to take responsibility and go get a couple of young people involved. If we think it's folks from a minority community, we all need to go into those minority communities and get a couple of people involved. Personally, we need to go out, because we all encounter people. We all encounter people, and get those folks involved. That's what's going to change it. Now, at the party, I do this. I started doing this as a result of COVID. When I ran for chair the first time, I promised people that I was going to travel the state and show up in different counties. And then COVID hit, preventing me from being able to travel. And because I promised people that I would stay in touch, when COVID hit, I searched for a way to stay in touch. And I started doing this. Well, we've all come, COVID's still real. COVID's still happening. I know somebody right now who has COVID, so I'm not a COVID denier, and I don't believe that COVID is gone. But now we are all freely moving about the state. The reason I continue to do this is because I want to find a way to continue to reach people in addition to showing up in their county. I will be going to a county meeting today. I will be attending Women's Federation tomorrow. So I still am traveling the state. But this way, I get to reach people all over the state all at one time. I don't want people to feel like they don't hear from the party and they don't get their questions answered, or they don't have a way to ask a question. And so I do try to pay attention to what people say in the feed. But additionally, the party has invested in a new tool. And that new tool is called Ask Your Party. It's supported by, a tool called Rept, but on our website, it's called Ask Your Party. So if you go to okdemocrats.org, it's a big red button that says Ask Your Party. You click on Ask Your Party. You click on Submit a Question. You type in your question. We will hear that question. We will make a video. We'll email you that question, the answer, and we'll also post it on our site. So if somebody else has the same question, we are trying very hard as a party to stay in touch and make people feel like they have a say in the party. It is our hope that if you feel like you have a say in your party, then hopefully that will transfer to having a say at the ballot box. I just need everybody to show up and vote. And as a reminder, we are 12 days away from April 4th, which is the next election coming up. If you have questions about that, ask that question. If you have questions about how you can participate in your county convention, come on out to the website and ask that question. Don't sit at home wondering what's happening at the party. Don't sit at home wondering. Ask us. If we don't know the answer, we'll try and find you an answer. So go out to okdemocrats.org, click on Ask Your Party, and ask the question. Trying everything we can to make sure that you guys stay in touch. We've got to change our legislature. It pains me, I tell you, to watch the juvenile behavior, the discriminatory behavior. You guys have heard me say this before because I'm quoting someone else. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And our majority in our state legislature isn't just a majority, it is a super majority where they feel like they have absolute power. And so they're not holding each other accountable to criminal behavior or juvenile behavior or bullying. All of that feels like it's fair game at our state legislature. We've got to change it, but I need your help. Thanks for joining me. I went a little long today, but I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15, and you guys have a great evening.